I just got off a call with our private clients and we spoke about, I would argue, the number one concept why they're still stuck under $10,000 per month. And it's not content, although that can be better, obviously. It's not their messaging, it's not their profile, it's not the AI they use. No, the number one thing that keeps most, if not all, service providers stuck under $10,000 per month is their inability to manage their time. So in this video, I'm going over three very simple concepts that I've personally used over the last few years, allowed me to travel the world. Like currently, I just got to Argentina whilst running a multi six-figure coaching business just from my laptop. So in this video, guys, we're gonna go over these three concepts that if you implement this, trust me, they're simple. They're very, very simple and they're hitting in plain sight. So if you use them, you will not only get your time back, your mental peace, like especially number two. Like since I've implemented that one, man, there's such a difference that when I do that in the week and when I don't do that in the week. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. So number one, guys, number one thing to manage your time like a professional and start scaling past $10,000 per month is the concept of day teams. And what I mean with that is that in your business, you have, I would argue, 3 to 5 core pillars, like category of like the work. So for example, for myself, that's like content, or sorry, marketing, delivery, product, strategy, research. So I have 5 topics and each of these topics have a specific day. So all my content creation for LinkedIn, email, and YouTube happens on Monday. On Tuesday, I spend time with my clients. So either like DMs or calls or one-on-ones. Sometimes it diffuses a little bit more into product because then I'm in a momentum, but usually Wednesdays are fully product, right? So I capitalize on the insights I've gathered on Tuesday and we move into like building product, right? Thursdays are for strategy and Fridays are for research. And by doing this very simple strategy, I'm allowing my brain to be focused on one big topic for the day. And then when it's done, I can move on. Because that just helps me to lock in Monday on the marketing, Tuesday on the content and delivery. So you get the point, right? So look for yourself, like look inside of your business. How, like, what are these topics? Like, I would argue that marketing is always there, right? Because you have to market your services. I would argue there is still an element of or there is also an element of delivery, right? And delivery, guys, that can mean two things. Some people combine them, some people don't combine them. Delivery can be calls with your clients, but also the work you do for your clients. So let's say you run a done-for-you agency or done-for-you offer. There are specific times in the week that you have to do work for clients, right? My point here is that if you batch that on one day, you're in the momentum of that, right? You're working for clients, which then on other days of the week, you can do other things. Now, you might be in this position that you have a lot of delivery work, right? So dedicate 2 days. Dedicate 2 days, but at least have it very specific that on those days you don't touch marketing. Now, this brings me to the second point, because you might think that, okay, Jesse, but you tell me to post a few times per week. I need to be out there, right? Like if I'm using LinkedIn or I'm using other platforms, like I need to be posting consistently, right? And this is where number two, guys, comes in play. With number two, it's the concept of content batching. And like I said in the beginning of this video, if I don't do this, and it happens at times, I am behind every part of the day or every part of the week. Like every day I wake up like, oh shit, I need to write a post. And I'm looking at the blank page. And even though I have my system dialed in after 6 years of posting every day, it's very easy for me to whip up a post and just repurpose something or to come up with an idea and to send it. But trust me, guys, like I feel so much better mentally when all my content on Monday is created, it's scheduled, both my LinkedIn content and my emails. And then the rest of the week, I can focus on other parts of our business, right? Because we are business owners, not full-time content creators. Like content and marketing is just a part in our vehicle, in our business, right? It's a vehicle to grow the business. So we don't want to have this dilute throughout the whole week. And this is what I see happening with so many of our clients. Like, for example, in the call this morning, Alex, one of our private clients, he mentioned this as well. He's like, I do the same thing every day, or like I do all of the same things every day. And and I'm like, hey, how do you feel about that? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty scheduled, but I'm currently only working with 2 people or 2 clients because I can't scale more. So I asked him the question, like, okay, perhaps you can't scale to more clients because your systems are not dialed in. And he started laughing. And he's like, yeah, that's pretty much the case. Because I went deeper. I was like, hey, if you close 4 clients tomorrow, what will happen? He was like, yeah, I will probably be just overwhelmed by my systems or the lack of systems, right? So day teams one, content batching is like a specific example from that. But especially in the phase, if you're under 10K, marketing is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to market yourself. You have to put yourself out there. But you're a business owner, not a full-time content creator. So you don't want to have this dilute the whole of the week, right? So you want to have one day where you just sit down, create your content, whether it's 3 posts a week, 4 posts a week, or like myself, 7 posts a week. Set and forget, schedule it. You can do this on LinkedIn without paying for any tool. And then that's going out. And trust me, guys, this gives so much mental peace that you know that if you even like sit on your hands and you do nothing for the week, you have your content going out. You reach a few hundred, a few thousand people per post. Over a week, that accumulates, right? So that's a system that you're building. And that's exactly what we help our clients with, to go from scattered, what should I post now, to having a system. Like one of the artifacts or the little tools that we have inside our program, Authority Figures, is the 5-minute post generator. And as the name suggests, within 5 minutes, you can whip up a post. So we have these kind of like fail safes in our program that, hey, you don't even have to spend the whole freaking Monday or whatever day you choose for your content batching process to create this post, right? But just a part of the week that you dedicate to that, set and forget, boom, it's done. It's out of your system. And then number 3, guys, one of the things to, if you implement this, it becomes way easier to manage your time and scale past 10K per month. So this comes down to the concept of energy alignment. And before you click away and you think I'm going to talk about some woo-woo stuff, that's not the point. But we all have specific. I'm not a biology expert, but I do know that we all have different like default settings for how our energy moves through the day. For example, I'm a morning person. I'm very active. I'm very productive in the morning. My energy is at peak levels. At night, I can't do any deep work. Whereas people that are around me are the opposite, right? So we all have a specific default settings, and there are many tests online that you can take. I think there's a specific chronotypes, like a bear, a wolf, a lion, like whatever, or an owl, whatever, right? Do a test like this, figure out how your chronotype work if you don't know that, and optimize your workday like that. So for me, example, like as I said, the first part of the day, I'm the most productive, I'm the most focused. So all my creative work gets done there. From 2 to 5 p.m., work-wise, I'm not in the best shape. Like I can work, but it feels, I have to force it. Where in the morning, it flows. So in the afternoon, from 2 to 5, I go out for a coffee with a friend. All my lifting is always done in the afternoon. So I optimize my days based on how my energy moves. And this is also something that I want you to do, because just think about the fact that if you just go against your biology, you will find yourself just forcing yourself through the work, where other parts of the day you just go through it. Like I'm sure you've had this experience, right? Like certain parts of the day you just like everything kind of flows. You're in a nice rhythm. You don't have to rely so much on like caffeine or other stimuli, and it just flows. But if you are working against your system, your biology, it just becomes tough, right? And sure, there are days that you kind of have to push through and have a call in those spots, but on average, or when you're designing your week, make sure that your deep work or your focus work, whether it's client delivery or it's marketing or it's strategizing, is in a block of the week where you're just biology wise optimized, right? It's such a simple workaround that if you work, it's like taking the current, or like swimming upstream. Like you don't want to do it. Like take the stream with you and you barely have to swim. Like sure, you have to still do the work, but you get the point here, right? So implement these 3 things, guys, and then the tactics, the strategies, and all these things that fall into place, right? Because you first have to, as a solopreneur, because you're watching this as a solopreneur, get control over your time, right? Because also why this is such an important thing, like you can only scale your business in terms of new clients to your system, right? So this morning also was speaking to one of our other clients, Alexandra, and she was like, hey, I'm at 2 clients now. I want to ideally grow to 6 clients. But currently each client has a specific day. So I was already thinking that when I have 6 clients, how am I gonna split up the week? Because I'm not gonna spend 6 days on client delivery. So I gave her the system as well. I'm like, hey, for each client you have to do research, right? And she said yes. I'm like, cool. So one part in your week or a day is research for all the clients. You do the research, you put in the Notion workspace, and that's done. Okay, cool. With all of the clients you have a call, right? She said yes. I'm like, cool. One day of the week you have all your calls back to back, because then you're in momentum. And that's a day that you just dedicate to calls. And sure, that day you don't get deep work done or admin or creative work, but that's fine, because let's say this is on a Wednesday and you have all your content done on Monday, you're good, right? So you have you allow yourself to then be less productive in other parts of the business, knowing you do the delivery just very fucking good. Like that's just such a massive act, because this comes down to the day teams, right? Like that day is just dedicated for delivery. So I was just like walking Alexandra through this thought process, and I was like, hey, set up the system now, as you are currently at 2 clients, right? And obviously in our program Authority Figures, we help people with client acquisition on LinkedIn. So we know the clients are coming in, but at the same time, she's now building the system that when the clients come in, client 3, 4, 5, 6, she doesn't get overwhelmed here, and she can work in the same way without getting overwhelmed or stressed out, and still provide so much quality and a tailored personal service to our clients, right? So guys, if this has been helpful, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe, and then I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.